there, boys and girls. Welcome to the Franklin shipyard. Frank and Lynn and I decided to come down here because our robots ran down to the ocean. We thought we better figure out what floats in case we need to make a boat. Well, before we get to making boats, let's look at water for a moment. Scientists and engineers measure water in a size called milliliters and liters. So a milliliter is 1 cubic centimeter of water. These cubes right here that we sometimes use in math, these are cubic centimeters as well, because their length, width, and height are all 1 centimeter. And 1 cubic centimeter of water is called a milliliter. 1,000 of these will make a liter.
Take me to your liter, Mr. Carroll.
Take me to your liter. Right, I will take you to a liter, Frank. This is a liter of water. Though I know it's a little difficult to see because water doesn't really have its own color. It's transparent. So let me add a little potion I was working on earlier. See if this helps make it more visible. Seems to be mixing in well, but actually I'm wondering if this is even more difficult to see. I might have used my invisibility potion instead of my regular potion for coloring things. Excuse me, let me see if I can add something to it so you can see it even better. There we go. All right, well now maybe you can see it. So this right here, this is a liter of water. It's 1,000 milliliters. And a milliliter, another way of looking at it is in terms of its weight. If I had 1 cubic centimeter of water, it would weigh 1 gram. So the key to making things float is if they can push aside enough water that they can displace the water and float on top. For instance, I have this brass bowl here. Now brass is pretty dense. It's a kind of metal. Makes a beautiful sound. But the great thing about this bowl is that its worth is in its emptiness. When I place it in the water, let's say this is about 500 grams, the beauty of this is that it's pushing aside 600 grams of water. So it's lighter than the water and staying on the top. But weight isn't the only thing that's going to decide whether something floats. For instance, I have this hammer. Hammer time. Can't touch this, though, because it's dangerous at home. I can because I'm a trained professional. Now, the difference between these two things is that the shape of this bowl allows it to displace or push aside water without letting the water in. When I place this hammer in the water, it goes right to the bottom. It's not displacing the water enough to float on the top. Its shape is deciding that it's not going to be buoyant. So let's look at some other things that may or may not be buoyant. This pumpkin, for instance, I can tell you, is heavier than this hammer, but its shape is different. So what do you think? Is this pumpkin going to float? Okay, thumbs up if you think it's going to stay on top. Okay, see a few thumbs up there. Thumbs down if you think it's going down. All right, a few of you honest in what you think. Well, let's try it. Fresh from the Franklin garden. And voila, it can float. It's displacing the water, enough water that it's able to stay near the surface. Here, let me put this out now. So what I'd like you to do at home for your experiment this week is make your own boats. I'm not sure what materials you have, but you probably have aluminum foil somewhere in your kitchen for wrapping food. But today, or one day of this week, I'd like you to make a boat. Now, I made this rectangular boat. So I curled up the sides to give it some walls, kind of like this bowl, so that when I put it in, it's displacing the water. The aluminum is very light, so it does make a good material for making boats. And we can give it some passengers, like this chicken. Are you afraid? I don't think so. Look, perfect vehicle for the chicken. And maybe at home you could try a Lego figure or some other toys you have. Now you don't want to put electronics in it, but see how much stuff you can put in your boat and still let it float. Now you could use a bowl for your water or a tub or even the bathtub if your parents let you. But I think Frank, did you want to try putting something in there too? Here, let's give you a try. Ooh, nice shot, Frank, right in the boat. Well, we're gonna let these guys cruise for a little while, and meanwhile, I'm gonna go make a bigger boat for Frank, because we might just have to head out to sea in order to track down our missing robots. I don't know what happened to them. Well, anyway, I'll be back in a minute, but you might start thinking about where's some tin foil in your house or aluminum foil, and what kind of boat you'd like to make.